Imagine this for a second. You're sitting at a coffee shop scrolling through your bank app and you see your balance. $127.42. Rent is due in 3 days. Your car has been making a weird noise for weeks. And that tiny voice in the back of your head keeps whispering, what if something goes wrong? Sound familiar? Most Americans live with this constant low-level panic where one unexpected bill could throw their entire life into chaos. But here's the twist. There's a very specific financial milestone that can almost erase that anxiety. Not $1 million, not even 6 figures. It's just $10,000. And once you hit it, everything changes. Your stress levels, your confidence, your opportunities, and even the way you see yourself. So today I'm gonna break down exactly why this one number is such a game changer, how it reshapes your psychology, and most importantly, how you can realistically get there even if right now saving $100 feels impossible. So grab a coffee, hit that subscribe button if financial freedom is on your vision board, and let's dive in. Life before $10,000. To understand why $10,000 is such a turning point, let's talk about what life feels like without it. If you've ever lived paycheck to paycheck, you know the drill. You're at the grocery store debating whether to spend the extra $2 on the cereal you actually like. A friend invites you to dinner, and instead of saying yes, you scramble for an excuse because $25 feels like too much to lose. Every purchase requires math. Every bill feels like a threat. Every small emergency, like a flat tire or a medical copay, becomes a potential financial disaster. This isn't just stressful, it's exhausting. Psychologists call it decision fatigue. When you're broke, you make hundreds of tiny money calculations every single day. Can I afford this? Should I wait until payday? Is this worth it? By the end of the day, you're mentally drained, not because your job is so tough, but because your brain has been running financial simulations nonstop. The shift at $10,000. Now here's where it gets wild. The moment you cross the $10,000 threshold, life feels different. Not because you suddenly buy luxury handbags or book first-class flights. Most people don't change their spending at all. The change is psychological. For the first time, you have a safety net. You have breathing room. And that does 3 powerful things. 1. Reduces stress hormones. Neuroscience shows financial security lowers cortisol, the chemical responsible for stress. Translation: you literally feel calmer, sleep better, and make sharper decisions. 2. Changes your risk tolerance. Without savings, taking a chance feels like gambling your entire future. With $10,000, risks look manageable. Maybe you finally ask for that raise, take a career course, or even think about moving cities. 3. Boost your confidence. Money in the bank changes how you carry yourself. You negotiate better, you stop saying yes out of desperation, and people can sense the difference. It's not about the stuff you can buy. It's about the permission it gives you to stop living in survival mode. Emergencies become inconveniences. Let's get practical. What does $10,000 actually cover? Car repairs. Most fall between $500 and $3,000. With no savings, that's panic mode. With $10,000, it's just a trip to the mechanic. Medical surprises, emergency room visits, urgent care, even minor procedures. Most are under $10,000. You won't cover a major surgery, but you'll avoid crushing debt. Job loss. Probably the scariest scenario. But $10,000 can buy you 3 to 6 months of breathing room depending on your expenses. That's enough time to find a good job, not just the first one that shows up. The difference here isn't just financial, it's emotional. Without savings, a check engine light feels like a countdown to disaster. With $10,000, it's an annoyance. That tiny shift, from panic to mild frustration, changes everything about how you move through life. Opportunities open up. But here's the fun part. $10,000 isn't just about emergencies. It's also about opportunities. Think about it. Most investments in your future require a small upfront cost. A $2,000 certification that could raise your salary by $10,000 a year, seed money to start a side hustle, a chance to invest in a friend's promising business idea. Without savings, these doors are closed. With $10,000, they're suddenly open, and that's when real financial growth starts happening. The identity shift. Now let's zoom out. The real magic of reaching $10,000 isn't just the money, it's the person you become along the way. Most people approach saving like a diet, extreme restriction for a short time, then burnout. But the ones who reach $10,000, they don't just cut expenses temporarily, they shift their identity. They start to see themselves as a saver. And that identity influences every decision. You start noticing wasteful spending. You get creative with side income. You think long-term instead of chasing instant gratification. This shift is what separates people who build wealth from people who stay stuck. Because once you've proven you can save $10,000, saving $20,000 feels inevitable. Dollars stop feeling precious. Here's an interesting paradox. When you have no savings, every dollar feels like life or death. That's why spending $50 on a networking event or $100 on a course feels reckless. But once you hit $10,000, individual dollars stop feeling so precious. Suddenly, that same $50 networking event feels like a smart bet because it might lead to a $5,000 salary bump. The safety net doesn't make you careless. It makes you strategic. You're no longer stuck in defense mode. You can play offense. The social ripple effect, money stress doesn't just affect your bank account, it spills into your relationships. Studies show financial pressure is one of the top causes of divorce, conflict, and even social isolation. Think about it. When you're broke, you cancel plans or avoid friends out of embarrassment. You might resent people who seem more financially stable. You bring anxiety into every conversation without realizing it. But when you're stable, when you've got that $10,000, you show up differently. You're more present, more generous, and more confident. And people respond to that. The momentum of $10,000. Here's something most people don't realize. Once you hit $10,000, saving the next $10,000 is faster. The first $1,000 is brutal. The sacrifices feel huge. But after that, habits kick in. You've cut out wasteful spending, you've built consistency, maybe you've even found new income streams. It's like pushing a heavy boulder. Painful at first, but once it starts rolling, momentum takes over. Before long, you're not just hitting $10,000, you're hitting $20,000, $50,000, maybe even six figures. How to actually save $10,000? Now let's get practical, because right now you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but $10,000? I can't even save $200. Here's the truth. You don't need to save it all at once. In fact, trying to save too aggressively is a recipe for failure. The key is consistency. 1. Start embarrassingly small. $25, $50 a month, the amount doesn't matter, the habit does. 2. Automate it. Set up an automatic transfer to a savings account right after payday. If you don't see the money, you won't miss it. 3. Redirect spending. The average American spends over $3,000 per year on coffee, takeout, and impulse buys. Cutting even a third of that gets you to $10,000 in under 3 years. 4. Increase income. Side hustles, freelance gigs, asking for a raise. Your savings journey will accelerate once you combine cutting expenses with earning more. Remember, this isn't about deprivation. It's about intentionality. Small, consistent actions compound faster than you think. Beyond the money. Here's the final, and maybe most important point. $10,000 doesn't make you rich. It won't buy you a mansion or let you retire early, but it will give you something infinitely more valuable. Freedom. Freedom to sleep at night without panic. Freedom to say no to a bad job offer. Freedom to handle emergencies without debt. Freedom to think about the future instead of just surviving today. That's the real power of $10,000. It's not just about the number in your account. It's about the transformation in your mind, your habits, and your life. So if you're staring at a balance that feels hopeless right now, remember this. You don't need $1 million to change your life. You just need your first $10,000. And the person you become while saving it, that's the real wealth.